Hello, hello, hello. I decided I so as any developer knows, like you start a side project and then you work on another one and then another one and another one and another one and you never really finish any. So I decided I was working on this HTTP server written in Odin and I decided to just record it. I've built this out before for Ostrich DB itself, but I am now kind of creating an example for other Odin developers to use if they want or if they so choose. So what I'm working on now is the actual server. So a lot of this I just copy and pasted, but it does have to be changed because a lot of this shit is specific to Ostrich DB. And I obviously don't want to put proprietary code uh, up into an open repo. I don't mind streaming it as much. Um, so I'm just making some modifications to the server. Um, so overall, this is a very short project because I am just porting over stuff and porting over like the server from OstrichDB and changing a few things here and there. So the path needs to be fmt.tprint. Are we using fmtbr? Let's do tprintf, and then we'll do API slash actually. We don't need this at all. We can just do server.api base, right? So something like this, and then server.api base. And then this also takes in the handler. Oh, okay. Yeah, like this. And unclear server, passing server, but not to this context. So to it dot server. Okay. So every time we do that, we make that route. Then we add, this returns a route. So we're going to say new route and add route to router. And then we just need to pass in the router and then new route. That should be good. Uh, why, what? Handle options. Oh, you know what? Because I haven't declared it over here. So that's fine for now. All right, so we won't need these anymore. Comment those out. And then I will also do that there. Um, Actually, we need to do the same thing. I'm going to change this to static endpoint for E and endpoint. And also this is, I forgot this. I need to do E here. Okay. Now dynamic endpoint. Um, Hmm. Dynamic endpoints are a little different. So let's change this up. So this will be the same thing as this, but we'll have a little bit different. And instead of, so it'll be API slash v1 or whatever the user passes in. Um, Slash, so this should be slash API slash v1. Um, like that. Okay. And we no longer take this, so we need to create um, so we need to do where are you? I think that is in HTTP. No, it's in router. Add route to router, handle HTTP request, make new route. And you take in a HTTP method, so we're going to do options. What else do you take in? Path is going to be this. Um, right, the handler, so the same thing as above, but this one we're just making one as opposed to two. That. Okay. Um, mhm, mhm. Damn cup on my desk. Okay, so this is example of making a dynamic. Okay, cool. Um, okay, so get all of these out of it. I will keep them for now. We'll keep those commented out for now. Um, also do the same thing down here. So this would be what? We could literally take the um same logic, make static endpoint. I want to rename this. We make and add static endpoints or something. Or we could just say make several static endpoints like that. And we'll take the same logic. Um, we'll take the exact same logic and do it for this. Make several. Yeah, that way we just get rid of all that. Um, okay. And then we'll do the same logic for here. Dynamic get route. Nice. Example get request. Dynamic. Also, I did it in the wrong context, technically. I should have declared these outside, and I will, but um, I don't want to comment on this. Example of making several standard course preferred endpoints. Example of using several static get request. Okay, so that's that. Okay, we're not doing anything with the config though. Backlog takes in. We'll just pass in. We don't have to pass in anything because by default it's set to 1000. Oh, the bind address. I config dot bind address. I don't believe I'm from right. Yeah, just this 127. So we can just pass this here and expects it as a string. Excuse me. Okay. Print error listening. Second. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So host. So I do want to take like the config. I don't want to have the config stuff in here. Somebody can add that shit in if they wanted to. Um, or we could make a simple struct and just have it load from that if we wanted to. Okay, using web using server. Um, mm, 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 mm. So we could make a uh, config. We could do it this way. I was against it at first, but I think it would be easier this way for people to use it. In fact, a lot of this is a string API version. Um, um, uh, Backlog size, max connections. Actually, was int max connections and requests timeout seconds. Can I do this in within the scope? I don't think so. We can't do it in the scope. Private non-file scope. Right, that's fine. Checkbox, address equals. Um, API version. And we're gonna bind address. No, we did bind address. Host equals local host, and that should be everything. So, local host. All right. Yeah. I mean, actually, this should probably shouldn't be private. This should be put in the types. I'll put this in types. This is not private. We'll put it in types. All right. Now, so if we go back to the router, or no, to the server, we could, in fact, use our config now, and the server should take in a config. Um, Pointer to a config. So all we have to do is in main is to create a server. Um, so do that, and then um, Um, and I'm using. All right. So that's the API base. What else do we have? The port. Mhm. Okay. Version equals uh I guess. Okay, is that it? API base version port config. All right, and it takes in a pointer to a config. And so example server dot config is equal to example config. Beautiful. Okay, so then when we call serve, all we need to do is pass in example server. Cool. Um, okay. Now we can actually a lot of this that I did change doesn't have to be changed anymore, which kind of fucking sucks, but it's okay. It's all good. Um, I need to move these out of scope. Let's continue down first. Make new error. Get error message. We don't. care about that. In fact, I've modified this a little bit in what's it called? Opus. Okay. Okay. Make error. Oh, geez, I forgot. I don't have all of those, so that is one issue. A lot of these are, so let's do um server error. Hmm. Wasn't even I'm not even handling server errors in here. That's not good. That's probably production. Oops. I guess we don't need that then. And cannot log server event. I guess we don't care about that. Okay, and then let's go back. Expected a string. Right, because this is getting message error type of type error type. Oh, mm, okay, that's fine. We won't worry about that then. That's just specific to my own art. I should be architecture. We won't worry about server errors. We will just pass location. I don't understand what's happening here. Transfer server location. Okay, so location is it? All right, so we type alias that, so this would be return source location. And find that. No, what's happening? What's this error say? Cannot assign value, make error. Oh, I see. Right, make error returns a pointer to an error. Or no, this returns a pointer to an error. We just needed to return an error. Okay. What was I? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So now, not that, not that, not that. What else is wrong? Expected string. If it doesn't get anything, it says no error. But this, because it's getting an error, because we're passing something to it, so we need to pass okay. That fixed that. Now we no longer have this app config, right? This is no longer here, but we do have server dot config dot host. Easy day. Um, Same here. We do have server dot config dot host. Server dot. Now server does have a server. We don't need server doesn't need a port because the config has a port. So let me go to my types. I'm going to modify this. This no longer needs a port because the config has it. And honestly, Cabase version, I'll leave that alone. So server dot config port and then server dot API base. Okay. And logging level, we don't care about that. Okay, client socket accept TCP. Same thing here. We need to update this error. So this one is server cannot accept connection, which is this one. And so we're just going to do return make error, and we're going to pass in this string type error and get caller location. Boom. And now handle connection takes in an app config. This doesn't need to take in an app config. We can modify this more, or we can create a new type. So let's see. App config. Current config. Type app config. Logging. I don't care about that. Cores. Shit. This matters. Um, which takes in a server config. Database. I don't really, it's not working with the database, so that doesn't matter. Logging config. Max buffer size. All right. So we can modify our config some more. Hmm. Do I want to call it app config? Uh, we don't care about this. This doesn't matter. And we're not loading our ostrich version from here. That doesn't matter. And so what we can actually do is just pass in a config 22 lib dot config. All right. And so now max, Jesus Christ. Okay, I get it. Uh I don't want to read from JSON. We can. It's not a big deal. We can do that. But I think we just modify the config some more. I'm also probably going to change this to just return the config in like its own procedure. So um, yeah, let's do this. Create custom config, and this will return a type pointer to lib.config. And all right, um, we'll just call it config. We don't need an example anymore. Um, all right, and so then all we'd have to do is do the same thing for the server. Create custom server. This returns a pointer to lib.server. Server, and we could just take all of this up here. Boom, boom, boom. Put it there. Right, and this takes in a config of type or pointer to lib.config, and we'll change this to config. And now server no longer has port, and this will be using FMT using lib. Okay. And now, so as far as the config goes, declared config. So as far as the config goes, I can add in this other stuff now. But before that, let's quickly just create these. So we need to create a custom config, and that'll be equal to that. And then we have our server, which takes and create custom server, which takes this argument. And when we run it, we'll just run the server. Okay. Now, back to this stuff. So we need to add um, max request body size in megabytes. So let's go to our type config and let's do a new security struct within it. Security struct, and we'll do that. And that's going to be an integer. And what else we got? Max request body rate limit. I'm not gonna add rate limiting on this project, so allow cross it. That's really it. The rest of these don't really matter right now. Max request body. Yeah, that doesn't really matter. That's not what we're using. What else are we using? App config. That's all we're using it for, really? Okay. Um, so what is that? 5? I'm down for that. Let's go back to main and make that 5. Config dot secure. Oh, I put in the wrong damn thing. Shoot. Config dot security dot this is equal to 5. Okay, so now all we have to do is go to our server dot config dot oh oh just config dot security. Okay. And then no error doesn't exist yet, so I need to grab that error. Let's go to Opus for that. Error. Do I not have no error existing yet? We could just return nil, right? Yeah, that's fine. We'll just do that. Okay, partial HTTP request, track request body, all this is fine. Odin, HTTP server. And now the version is going to be a string, so we don't need this anymore. We can just go ahead and do server. Oh, we're not passing in the server though. Big dot API version. If I instead of passing in a config, if we just pass in the server, I think we'll be all right. All right, because there's a config is part of the server, so all of this can just be server dot config like that. And now um, server dot version. Okay, it's not course headers. I don't remember where the fuck that is. I forgot about this. Okay. Set package server. Um, it's all good. Course config name. Now, course option is a type. Course options. Okay. Um, My course evaluation CPU response. Make error. Server cannot. Uh, right response. All right, and we'll just do that. Boom. Dot error and get caller location. What's the problem? We have our string value. Cannot assign value. Make error. Oh, this returns a pointer too, right? Yeah, so let's just make it return an error. Okay. Extract body. Get input. That should be in server at the very bottom. Stepper kit. No. Where is get input at? Uh, oh, I don't have that anymore. Do I not have it in Opus? Mm-mm. I do have it in Ostrich DB in the CLI, I think. Source. Okay, that's all good. Get input. Report in. Okay, yeah, right. And so here's the problem with this. You cannot pass this a any param or any arguments, if I recall, because we're running it on a separate thread. So, hmm, okay, right. Um, Now, can I go back to I should have it in here, I think. Core server, server, all the way at the very bottom. Right. Okay. Yes, server ports is what I called it. Constant. Okay, so it's in constants. Constants. Uh, server ports. Okay, so this is what I did. Now, I guess in main, what we can, oh no, we can't do it in main. This has to be global. So, or no, it doesn't have to be global. It has to, shit. Oh shit, I don't remember. So as far as this is reading it from const dot. Okay, so we can just do it in, I mean, common, I guess. And we'll make this dynamic. Actually, hold on. We have to do, wait. It's a dynamic int. Okay. All right. So we made we made that type. Now in main, in our server or in our fig, we can do something like this. Mm, no, I don't like this. Shit, hold on. This isn't what I want to do. This needs to be global, not within that scope. I could take this out. In fact, I think I will. Okay. All right, that should be fine. All right, what other issues do we have? Okay, so this is why I had no error because now this is returning find IP server dot config dot port. Here, let's fix that one. Okay, so this no longer needs to take in, this just needs to take in a server. No error no longer exists. So I need to just make no error. So if I go back here and I look up no error, it does exist, which is good. Yeah, it just returns nil because it's a pointer. So that's why I have it returning a freaking pointer. Okay. God damn it. This is otherwise we can't return nil. Or we could just make an error and say no error. Instead of that, we could just do make error and pass nothing. That works perfectly fine, actually. Uh, s- make error. Okay. And what other issues do we have in this file? Oh shit. Okay. Course. Okay. Load config from inf. Oh, damn it. This is not something we're gonna do. We're not using that course option. So now allowed origins. So this is what I need to do. This needs to take in a config from, what is it called? Live.config. And this will just be config. All right. And now we need to go back to our types and config, wherever it may be. We'll now have a new section called course, or a new struct called course. And that will be in here, allowed origin. So these are the things we need. So we go back to main real quick. Our config Okay. And then now config dot cores dot okay. So we need to add allowed origins. This is going to be a type of string slice. Allowed methods. Same thing. String slice. Uh, ex oh, allowed headers. And what else we got? Expose headers as well. And max age seconds. And allow credentials. All right. Allow origins, methods, headers, expose headers, max age. All right, cool. So now we go back to main, cores dot allowed origins equals um HTTP local host 8080. And honestly, they can add more if they want. Allowed headers. Actually, I could just copy this basically. Kinda. I mean, I can take the inside, not the symbols. Allowed headers. Take this as well. Allowed methods. And this allow or expose headers. All right. Next, config. Okay. So now default core allow methods. Oh my god, you shitting me. HTTP method. Oops. HTTP method string. That's what we're dealing with. Do I have that already? I do have that already. So, what's the issue again? I already forgot. Um, so this is default cores options is taking in and some HTTP methods. This is not right. Okay, I fucked that up. Allowed methods is not a string slice. It is HTTP method. String, right? Used as a type when not a not a type. Oh, hold on. Wait. Uh, what? Oh, it's not the string version, it's the method. Straight up. Got it. Okay. And so now in main, this needs to be modified to unusual get, delete, id, options, post, quit. All right. What else we got? Cores, max age in seconds is a type of, this is max age, I'm assuming int I-30, max age seconds. A little bit of a typo there. Seconds. All right, what else? Make default cores options, parameter config. So this needs to take in config, and you are called in. So we can just pass in config, hello pointer to lib.config. Um, okay. Let me be right back. How do I pause this shit? There we go. Okay. What may have been a second for you was about 5 minutes for me. Excuse me. Let's get back to it. Um, apply course services, pass this in config. Uh, this also needs to take in config pointer to config. Okay. What else do we need? Okay, the handlers are not, they don't exist yet. And this needs a config handle connection. We're passing it a server. You know what? This is fine because this gets server dot config. That works like that. And not worried about the handlers right now. Okay, that's cool. So we're making some good progress here. Um, um, so let's do main. Library. For update. Okay. So now onto the handlers. Package server. Handlers are a little bit gross. So we have to do some shit here, and we're mainly concerned about just two handlers right now. Um, we need our options handler, handle options request handler. Uh, whoa, wait a minute. I don't have this. Handle options. Oh, that's in course. So wait a minute. If that's in cores, we should, am I not? Cores is in the server package, so this should be already existing. So it does exist. Can I assign value hand option to route handler? Make new route handler. Handle options request. What? What are you talking about? Wait a minute. What? Hold on. So this is not the same as what it's expecting because params are different. That just blew my mind. Hold on. Make new route takes in a route handler. Handler is yes. Config. It's already in lib, so we just need to do the input parameter types differ between the procedure signature types. Expected config. Those look the same to me. What the hell? Oh, a pointer to right. Let me go back to that. Well, how the fuck do we need to reference it? Do you? No, we can't just. That's when you declare it. So wait a minute. We need to pass in. Okay, that's fine. So as opposed to this, we need to, but it's not a pointer. Ooh, shit. But we can't make it a pointer unless, no, we can. We need to, where is that at? What am I looking for? There's a generic or whatever the fuck it's called that we have. Where would that be? Router handle request. Oh boy, hold on. I'm all turned around here. There's a bunch going on. What am I looking for? Um, let's go back to that options request. Hold all of this server handle options request, right? So This needs to be the pointer to a config because that's what this requires. But we don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be. So it could be a config. No, no, this needs a pointer to a config. So if we change this to just a config, we can reference said config, right? No, we can't. This does need to be a pointer to it. This can take in. That doesn't work either. Son of a bitch. So it does need to be a pointer. Um, hmm, right. And when we do this, because it, hmm, right. So we'd have to do this, but we can't do that because of new route is expecting it to be type route handler. Route handler is expecting it to be like that. Okay, so this, that's fine. Okay, so now route handler needs a pointer to a config. So we pass in, this is in the router, so we just passed in config, which means that this also needs to be passed a config or a pointer to a config. Let that config. Right. And all this needs is, and we need to pass config to, okay, yes, right. So server.config here. A little filthy. It's kind of getting gross. Dynamic redeclaration of dynamic. I'm curious. Um, redeclaration of server points in the scope. Oh, I forgot I was working on this. We're not doing that anymore. We're just use 8080 or modify it however you want. Let's test it out with 8080 44 not found. Oh, well, I don't have handlers yet. Right, but it is running, so that's good. Um, Let me see if I let's make the handlers a couple handlers real quick, and then we should be good. So, um, add adding a get ignore. What did I do in the library? I added a new type. Oh yeah. Okay. Next, handlers. So this is actually going to be fairly simple, I think, now that we fixed that other issue. So let's go here. We just need to do like this, and we'll create get post put delete handlers. I guess I can add all of these, kinda. Um, I guess it won't be. It'll be. There's a lot of copying. That's pretty much what we'll do. But the user of this server can do whatever they need to do. We're just kind of give them a template. Also, I did forget to update my copyright information. A lot of this is still the Archetype Dynamics copyright stuff like this, so that needs to be updated too. Let's see here, but that's fine. I will update them all to be open source. So let's do the get handler first. Handle get request. So they will take in a config. Let's import all this shit real quick. We don't need that, need that, that. We won't need this for that, and we'll keep the rest. Okay, and let's just copy the rest of that over. All right, here we go. This is probably going to be the least fun part. So if anyone doesn't want to watch this part, honestly, there's not going to be much for me to do here. This is literally just me putting a foundation in for any users of this Odin HTTP server. Um, all right, so if method is get, yep, yep, yep. We don't care about auth. Case error. Oh boy, you know what? I have to just take this whole thing and trim so much here. I forgot about this. A lot of this needs to be trimmed just because it's the Asha DB shit. And we will do something like that. Let's just do a get request for health. So we don't care about the app config necessarily, or the rate limiting, or the auth. Um, in fact, all this can come in here. Well, technically, everything down here. So let's start with this and go all the way down. All the way down to where we get that type at there. All right, that's cool. Um, Now the health check will literally just be doing this. So kind of do the same thing. This method is not equal get bad request. Okay. Um, Now the version. So this is getting past a config of some sort. So the config doesn't have a version. Yes, it does. It does have a version. Um, you know what? It's okay. It doesn't. It's not okay. Yeah. Okay, so instead of a pointer to a config, I could just do a pointer to a server and then still access the config from within. That might be the move. So let's do that. Server. And let's do this. Now it's gonna fuck up everything, right? Well, not really. You just gotta fix it. So instead of we'll just pass it a server because the server accesses the config. So same here, same logic. And we'll go ahead and just do this. This will do the same thing. And this will do the same thing as well. We can still access the config, but we're just going to pass the server because there's a config is there's a pointer to a config within the pointer to the server, if that makes sense. Or I hope I'm making sense. I'm not even making sense to myself, so that's okay. So what we can do now is where it says config, we just do server dot config, and that should be okay. So this will be, instead of that, it'll be server dot, and we'll do that for each one of these. Okay. Now, uh, um, wait a minute. Cannot assign value server config of type pointer to config. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, just pass it the server, and then we'll just access all the shit via the server. So this will be server. Okay. Now handlers. Not worried about that. We're worried about the errors over here. Server. Do this again. Right. Okay. And so as opposed to it being, okay, and we just need to pass in the server. I think that's all right there. What other errors do we got? The router, route handler. This needs to be past a server. And instead of a config, this will be passed to server. Back over here. So this gets past a server. We don't want any config. Okay. Now handlers. So we don't care about the server session. In fact, we do. But what it'll be, it'll be server dot timestamp or something. I mean, not really, but that's fine. So the version will be now server dot version, since we can access that. So server dot version. Um, mm, mm, get rid of this times uptime. Don't care about that. Okay. So we have server version. We have the time now. This also needs to be API version. Or server version, I mean. Okay, and there we go. So that's our example GET request. Oh, well, actually, we can modify this. Example. Okay, so we'll do some similar logic to the get request over here, where we will go based off the length of the, we'll split the path into segments, and then depending on if a certain thing is, so like, we'll do this logic. So if number of, actually, no, let's do segments equals, what is it? Split path into segments and into path. Number of let's see, length is segments. If number of segments equals, let's say, so at this point, um, handle logic for uh, that is local API slash v1 slash health. So what is that? That's if the number of segments is 3 and segment 2 equals health. Um, then do all of this. Ping. And this one will be if the number of segments is equal to 3 as well. And the segment 2 equals ping. A response is equal to fmt tprintf um, pong, or you sent right. Okay. So if you're getting health, then you get the health report. If you getting ping, or you get back pong as a response. Okay. And if nothing, if neither of these, then you return what is it, 500 or whatever? Question mark. Okay, we're getting some errors down here. Are you kidding me? This is kind of specific to the DB. I don't really want to have that in there. So we'll leave that as is. So let's run it. Odin run main, and let's try it out. Let's hit ping 44 not found. Localhost 8080. Okay, well, it's being hit. Oh, mm, I think I know. Let me go to the server because I'm not calling these. That's why I forgot about taking these out of their current context and scope. Um, Still not found. We added them to the router for each one. Or we actually, yeah, we add them to the router. Let me take these out of this scope here. So slash API base slash, so I think I'm doing this wrong. So API base should actually be over, what's the API base? API base is the string and server. So in main, we are passing that. Ah, yes, that's why. So I'm not actually calling host anywhere. Um, API base is the server, and that's going to be um, oh, slash API. So we need to add localhost slash full full URL maybe, and it'll be t printf, and it will be so host slash API base or API slash v1 like that. So server dot config.host server.api base server.api config.version like that, I think. All right, so localhost. Oh, actually, you know what? Um, got the server.config.port. So it'll be localhost, HTTP localhost, colon, whatever. Let me actually print this out. Segfault. Uh-oh. Segfault where? Where? Here? Host space version. So why is this causing that? Server.config.host. Or right. API base version. Why is it causing an issue? API version, API base. Oh, you know what? We don't need the version since we're already doing the base. Still, son of a bitch. How does this work again? It's all right, it's not string. Son of a bitch. Okay, hold on. Um, so we formatted it. So let me Seg fault. Interesting. I wonder why this is causing a seg fault. Let's just try one thing in here. Empty line. What? Unidentified. What? Seg fault. That's weird. Server. Very weird. I'm curious. Huh. That's so weird. What? Like what? I don't understand why that would be a problem. Um, what? Like what? What is the fucking issue? So if I just set this value, if I hard set it, right? If I hard set this value to something, do you still break? You do not. But I think I see the issue. The config is coming back as nil. Mm. So I'm fucking up some shit in memory here. So our config is not getting loaded at all. At all. Okay. Create custom config. Why isn't that getting loaded at all? It's all right here. Course. Um, all right, so it's in the config. Something about the config is incorrect. Makes a pointer to a new config. Okay. I don't understand why. So what in here is incorrect? So with all of that uncommented, we get a segfall. But with, let's see. Okay, it runs. Okay. Very segfault. It runs. There it is. Homebrew seller. What the fuck? NVM node. What the fuck? Allowed origins. Weird. So long as that's commented out, no, we still get the sick fault. That's so is it the allowed headers that's causing it? I mean, it gets a sick fault. What the fuck is going on? How is this a problem? Is it because I'm trying to directly? Oh, right. That might be. I remember this. You can't directly try to access the shit. Okay, let me do this then. I think I remember this being an issue. Strings dot clone. It's something about passing strings around like a fucking whore, or don't like it, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. Yeah, very weird. I kind of I forgot all about that. Hmm. All right, there's our config, allowed headers. It's empty though. Methods. Ah, sick fault. Okay, so I'm trying to access something. Okay, well, that also might explain it there. No, it doesn't explain it. But what am I trying to do here? Okay. So let's do host base version equals strings.clone C print f. All right, so we're gonna do API, all that shit version, or no, localhost. This is localhost colon the port slash API or yeah API base version or like the fucking API base. Missing argument. Oh my God, I forgot the shit. um, so server dot config dot host, I think it is. Yes. Okay. Server dot config dot port. Server dot config to API base. What? Too many arguments. String clone. Oh, oops. Spec fault. What is going on? Right, because I'm trying to do the shit from here. Okay, so I need. So wait, I thought I did that. Do I need to do it again? What the fuck is going on? Okay, something about this is not right. Um, all I'm trying to do is print the shit out, and it's not happy. Hmm. Oh, why didn't that throw an error the first time? Faithful. Son of a bitch. What is happening? I think, if I recall, you cannot directly assign a string value to a pointer of a struct. That's why you have to use strings.clone. Right. So, but I cloned these string values into here. All right. So we're creating the config. We clone everything. We pass that same config to the server. It should have that cloned memory or whatever stored in memory that has been cloned in the server. The server struct. I don't remember ever having this much of a difficult time with this. Hmm. Is it because it's a pointer to the server? So if I do that, is it a better? No, it's coming back as an empty string. Well, I'm not setting it. What does this show? No. Okay, that's very wrong. When we dereference it, can we dereference it without it breaking? No. Okay. Nil. That is nil for some reason. Why is this nil? Should it not be a pointer two? But if it's not a pointer two, then everything after that is fucked, and I have to do it all over again. So this has to be a pointer two. Oh, wait a minute. The config is also itself having an issue, right? The port is fine. Where is the host? Host is good. Okay, bind address is fine. API version security. Come with that. Headers that are allowed is for some reason empty. I should probably take a break. My brain is fucking fried right now, man. And of course, that just happened. We're looking for allowed headers. Jesus Christ, what did I just do? Still, still empty. Why is that still fucking empty? Well, okay, so there it is right there. So what in the fuck is going on? What? So the moment it leaves the scope, memory just like, fuck it. And it's gone. So right here, this is fine. This worked out perfectly fine. But when we actually print out our config, All of that is gone. Very interesting. Allowed headers. So the moment it gets returned, it's just not, it's non-existent. Allowed methods is fine. Allowed origins is empty. Allowed headers is empty when we print it out in here. But when we print it out from within, can I do, so it's a pointer. What if I do a like that? Not that. I'm sorry. This. Still, huh? Oh, I just also realized allowed methods. The only one that's allowed is head. Why is that? Does that change every time I do it? No, it's head every time. Okay, if I take head out of here, what happens? It's still head. Okay, so some we are create. I think what's happening is somewhere else other than main. I'm creating a config. Okay, seems like that's not the case. So what in the fuck? Um, boy, this doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Right. So no matter what I put in here, even if I take head out, let's just leave put allowed methods head. Why is that the case? That's fucking weird. What the fuck? Hold on. Allowed methods. I guess because it's a what is this? Lib dot HTTP method. I think that's what it is. Hold on, I need to kill. Should be good with that one. What? What? Allowed methods. Head. God damn it. Whichever one is the first one in here, is which. Okay, that's very odd. That doesn't make sense to me. All right, so there's several things wrong here. Let's say for the purposes of this figuring out what the hell's going on, we don't make it a pointer. It's not a pointer. It's just a regular config. So we gotta do how do you do that? We could just do config type config like that. What happens if we do okay, weird. Still, let's do one thing at a fucking time because this is pissing me off. So let's see. Um, the port is fine, backlog's fine, maximum, that's fine, that's fine. Localhost is fine, bind address is good, API version security is fine. Allowed origins. The moment we get down here, it's fucked up. Still. Um, uh, weird. I don't not that's the thing is, I don't understand why this would be happening. Even if I clone it, it's empty. But it's there inside of this. The moment we leave this scope or this context, shit just ran like arrays or slices are just not working. And I don't understand why that would even be. Um, hmm. This isn't something that I've come across with Odin before. I don't think I have. D- Also, the methods one that doesn't make sense to me either. I might have to consult somebody with this. The Cobb man. Um, yeah, I might have to reach out to somebody and ask some questions. I don't understand why, even if you use like a string dot clone on one of these things, it doesn't work. And then the HTTP method slice, everything's coming back as whatever is the first enum. I don't know. I'm gonna end the video here. It's been like almost 2 hours or something. Yeah, 2.5 hours. Um, if you made it this far, good job. Thanks for watching.